Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Mother, take us from unreal to real, ignorance to bliss, from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Welcome everyone. You know, the more and more and more that we delve into this world of self within, and we see that there is so much within us, that this one universe which is outside, where is Switzerland and England and America and Australia, is nothing compared to the mysteries of inside. And it is so simple, not complicated, but becomes complicated because of our ignorance. And today we're going to continue to now get back to our Mandukya Upanishad. You remember Mandukya Upanishad? And Gaudapada, Guru's Guru of Shankara, Govindapada Shankara. And Gaudapada's comments and remarks simplified for you and me to very simply understand. Let me start with a very simple story. I heard it from Swami Tyagananda. He is a monk from the California right now, in the western coast of America, of a Vedanta ashram. You know, he was saying his guru told him that one day, he said this story, a doctor, and this doctor was actually became a good doctor and wanted to naturally start trying out on patients. And he saw strangely the first patient he tried, the patient died. He was very sad, first patient of his life as a doctor. And then so happened that the second patient he tried, second patient also died. And then his third patient also died. And he was very sad, very morose, and he came to start think about, and he talked to some wise people, and they said, you contact Lord of Death, Yamraj. He said, how will I contact him? So Katha Upanishad tells you. So he gave him a mantra of Yamraj. He said, you chant this mantra, and if with your devotion, he will come and see you, meet you. He chanted and chanted. And as it is said, if the mantra is chanted well, it will always reach the deity for whom you are praying. And Yamraj, imagine, nobody is a devotee of a Lord of Death. Yamraj suddenly started getting signals as a mantra, and he says, I have a devotee? He is also surprised. So he immediately contacted, let's go and meet this devotee of mine on earth. And he goes and meets. He said, I'm pleased with your upasana. Tell me, why are you remembering me? The doctor, young doctor tells Yamraj, my pranam, but tell me, why is it that every patient of mine you're killing? Yamraj said, listen, my dear devotee, why are you choosing every patient who are going to die? So the doctor said, but how would I know who is going to die? He said, okay, I'm pleased with you. Every time you go for a patient, I'll make sure I'll be present there. And if I stand at the head of the patient, no, he'll be all right. And if I stand at the foot of the patient, no, he's going to die. I'm going to take him with his legs. So, don't take that patient. Mind some excuse, say something. Don't take him. So the doctor, very pleased, and he started off, And every time he would see a patient, and wherever he followed Yamraj's advice, and soon the word spread. This doctor is greatly successful. Nobody dies in his hand. There was one patient in the hospital, same hospital, who was given up by all doctors, said he's beyond all case. And this young doctor, he went to see this patient, and he found Yamraj is standing at the head of the patient. So he said, I will take on this patient. And everybody said, he's much senior doctors. He said, are you crazy? He's going to die. What's the idea? Let him die. He said, no, sir, with your permission, I'm taking him on. And this patient became all right. And his name spread. And now he opened up a personal nursing home, doing brilliantly well, great name, and he earned lots of money and name and fame and doing very well. Comes back home exhausted and flakes out to sleep. One day in the middle of the night, he got up from sleep and he found Yamraj is standing in front of his foot. Now what he did, the moment he saw Yamraj is standing in front of my foot, he knew my time has come. So what did he do? He quickly in the bed turned around and put his head towards the Yamraj. Yamraj, what he did, he went around and came back to his foot again. And this doctor also turned around quickly and again put his head. And the game was going on. Yamraj went to his foot and this doctor turned around and again put his head. And Yamraj is going round and round the bed and this man is going round and round like a top, rotating top. 50, 60 times eventually Yamraj gives up. He said, my head is swinging. What is it? All right, I will not take you this time, grant you. But tell me one thing, what is your secret? How did you on your bed go round and round like a circle? I found it so difficult, my head is swimming, going round and round in your cot. So the doctor said, Yamraj, when you gave me the boon, I knew one day it will be my time. So what I did, I practiced every day morning for 30 minutes how to go round and round and round. My yogic practice every day morning. I practiced. I didn't stop one day. So, message for you and me is two messages. Number one, when you are ready and prepared for your death, you start to live from that day. Why? Because you become fearless. You have no fear. And second message, always be ready for the case, the task that you're taking up. Today, we are going to deal with the Mandukya Upanishad. And you remember, smallest of the book, this is Mandukya Karika. This looks big. There's only 12 sutras. And this is the Karika written by Shankaracharya's comment, Gaurapada's comment, and written by special Swami Nikhilananda. You recollect Mandukya Upanishad. Chapter 1 talks about what is this Upanishad is about. That world is not real. But it appears to be real. Chapter 2 goes ahead and tells that the world reality is just like the snake and the rope, the famous example. It appears to be so. And the third chapter, Gaurapada, Shankaracharya's Guru's Guru, tells you that this world is filled with suffering because the moment there is duality, there is samsara, which is suffering. The moment there is non-duality, that means everything is one consciousness, one world, one universe. Through this oneness of consciousness, then there is no mind. And this beautiful understanding takes you to beyond mind. The mind is samsara. No mind is no samsara. Samsara is suffering because it is duality. How the moment you have mind, you put a name and a form and you stand aside and everybody else is separate from you. The moment you have mind. So whether meditation or without meditation, whether yoga or without yoga, whether Vedanta or without Vedanta, everything we experience through our mind. Without the mind, no experience. Now look carefully. Look at this. This no mind is nothing else but based on couple of verses from the chapter of the third chapter, on which Gaudapada has written. It's called the Mandukya Karika's Advaita Prakarana. The chapter is called Advaita Prakarana, in which it goes on to say, to start with, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Only consciousness is real and rest of the world is not real. Only TV screen is real. What is happening inside the screen, the TV screen is not aware, not bothered. Whether the screen is running inside or not running movie, the switched off TV, screen is always there. Consciousness is always there. What is happening inside the mind and the body is the screen is not bothered, consciousness is not bothered. So, Gaudapada is saying samsara is the problem and based on duality. And this, it says, Dvaita is samsara, Advaita is no samsara. With this understanding that no experience world considering is what? An object and a subject. You are subject. You are drashta. You are the seer. You see the world. The moment you experience something, which is the part of the meditation, we will do it in this Sunday. The moment you experience, which is Vedantic Mandukya Upanishad meditation, the moment you experience something, it is not you. You experience this clock, this book, this computer. You experience the world. You experience the people. Experience. They are not you. You say, of course I know they are not you. This computer is not me. I need that. But to understand the deeper meaning, anything that you experience, that means what? You experience your hand. You say, this is my hand. You don't say, this hand is me. With me? You say, this is my body. But you and I land up saying, this body is me. This is me. Where is Robbin Ghosh? This is me. This is mine. This is Robbin Ghosh. Now, Vedanta is saying, no. Whatever you experience, it is not you. This duality exists also in a dream state. You are experiencing the dream. It is also experienced in the deep sleep state. The Mandukya Upanishad says, let's face the world. Let's face, experience the world. How do we experience? Waking, dreaming, deep sleep. But Mandukya goes ahead and says that there is a fourth state, and that's called the Turiya. And actually the Turiya, you and I know now, we have been long enough with the Vedanta, the Turiya is not the fourth. It is the seed state which actually gives us to experience the waking, dreaming and deep sleep. In the deep sleep also there is consciousness. That is how when you wake up from deep sleep, you say, what a wonderful sleep I had. How would you know that if you were not aware? In the deep sleep you didn't have mind. Your thoughts were not there. But you went to no mind state. You should be happy. No, it is not, because when you wake up, you're back into that mind. Gaudapada says even samadhi is not an answer. Samadhi does take you to no mind state at that time, for that moment. But the moment you wake up from Samadhi, your bank loan is still pending, your rent of the house has to be still done, and your sickness or Paramahansa Ramakrishna, he went into Samadhi. His hand was broken. He didn't heal when he came out of the Samadhi. And this is what you need to understand, that this Bija Avastha of the seed of the Turiya is continuously on with us. So, there is a beautiful verse which is the 31st verse in the 3rd chapter of the Mandukya Upanishad. In the 3rd chapter here, 31st verse, it goes on to say, Mano drishyam idam dvaitam yat kinchit sacharacharam manusobi avani bhabe manusohi avani bhabe dvaitam naiva upalabdhate. What does it mean? It means the duality is linked to the functions of the mind. Mano drishyam idam dvaitam. Yat kinchit, even the slightest sacharacharam, manusi hi amani bhavi. That is what gives you. And when you go beyond mind, dvaitam naiva upalabdhate, you do not feel the duality, meaning samsara vanishes. And this is what is yours, and my intention is to go beyond that duality. The secret of duality in the deep sleep, it is there. And deep sleep is not an answer. And you see many drug addicts, alcohol followers, they try to go into that stupor state and thinking, now I am free from with the drug or with liquor, alcohol. It doesn't happen, because you will come out of it, and when you come out of it, you're worse. And this, not only this habit of the drugs, you get into the drug, but the drug gets into you, and now you are not yourself anymore. Drug controls you. There's a beautiful story Paramahansa Ramakrishna Vivekananda's Gurudev used to say. Villagers are standing and the river is in flood, and they are standing and watching many things floating by. Some villages have been taken. This village is still little better. They're standing on the bank of the river, and then one villager, good swimmer, he saw one beautiful rug blanket is floating by. He jumps into it fearlessly, swims quickly, and goes and catches that rug to bring it back home. And the villagers from the, he is not leaving the bank, and he is going away with the current. Just imagine the scene. Villagers from the bank said, leave the rug, forget it, you will be taken by the flood and you will die. He says, I have left the rug, but the rug is not leaving me. Why? Because the rug was a bear, looked like a rug. And now he's got a bear hug onto this guy. He will not let him go because he wants to live. This is what happens with habits with us. So everything we experience through our mind, understanding. How do you experience a flower? A flower is experienced purely when you see the flower. Notice the flower does not come and enter the eye. Light falls on it. Light goes into the brain through the optical lenses of the eye, 5 apparatuses of the 5 senses. So we experience the world. World is got into us through the brain to the mind. Now, till now the Western science knows that the brain sends tiny electrical particle of electricity to give the image of the flower in the mind. But they don't know how electrical particle of electricity gives you to the mind. What is it? You and I know now that it is the consciousness. Mind has no power, brain has no power. Yes, yours and mine does not have any power. That is why when I am unconscious, when I am in coma, I don't remember anything. And that consciousness empowers the mind, mind empowers the brain, brain empowers the five senses, and the world is brought to us. How do we experience that world? Through the electrical particles, through the mind. Now if you go beyond the mind, that means there are no objects you are experiencing, your duality is gone, and you are in that beautiful state of no mind. So, there's a beautiful statement in the Himalayas. Monks say, whoever has seen the samsara with a peaceful mind, शांत मन में भला संसार किसने देखा है? They speak in Hindi, no? Whoever has seen this samsara, problem and suffering and sickness and disease with a shant man. So that is why the meditation is to get that agitated mind. So what happens? Chitta vritti nirodha. To calm the mind to the absolute stillness, that is that samadhi state. But you need to prepare the mind through the knowledge of the Vedanta, so that when you come out of the samadhi, you are not ruled by the mind anymore. Now you see the snake, you know it is not a snake because you throw the light of knowledge and say it is only a rope. So, this is how Manusi Avani Bhavi Dvaitam Naiva Upalabdhate. The duality ceases to grow, and this is what is mean the simple asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So, Paramahamsa Ramakrishna tells the devotees, meditate mone, bone, kone, meaning meditate in your mind all the time. Meditate in the corner of in your house. Meditate in the forest. Mone is mind, bone is in the forest, and kone meaning at the corner of your house. When you meditate like this, you will see that Viveka will take birth. Vivekananda, Viveka, knowing what is right, what is not right. And Vairag will come, which will tell you to discriminate, throw away what is not real. I will tell you a beautiful understanding. We think meditation meaning sit still, don't move, hilo mat, generally. And we sit for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, and I say I had wonderful meditation. Mind was like a storm. I'll show you how to, in that state, to get into that calmness. We think meditation meaning get into bliss, happiness, joy, blissful, always smiling. The moment you do that, the bliss will run away. I'll give you an example. The moment you try to fight with the mind and make it calm, mind does just the opposite. So what is the way out? The trick is become aware of what? Everything. Your mind is agitated, mind is nervous, mind is scared. Be aware of the scared. Be aware of the agitation. Be aware of that hatred. Be aware of love. Be aware of care. Aware. Chaitana. When you do that, you know what happens? It runs away. The moment you become aware, the consciousness light comes into that fear, that troubled mind, that darkened soul. So what is our prayer? Asato ma satkamaya. Take us from unreal to real. And Tamaso ba jyotirgamaya. Tamaso, darkness, to light. So that all the darknesses go away and we go beyond death. This is the essence of today's session. I'll take you across to in the meditation on Sunday. Go ahead and ask some question if you wish. Jai Guru.